Yo, what up? Welcome to another Neon topic. Gage Luke ain't here, so I'm hosting. That's right, me. I'm OM Jesus, the Dungeon Master of Ceremonies, Producer Supreme, as they call me, apparently. But of course, I'm here with other people, and yes, I am wearing my Luigi shirt that is Chroma King out to show a galaxy behind me. I'm here with Verumdex, the one and only, as our guest today. Say hello, sir.
Hello, friends. Thank you for having me.
I'm also here with, the guy with the killer voice, the guy with always a different hairstyle. That's right. It's the singer bro, aka Steven.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I don't know why that came to my head then, dude.
It's another soundboard sample I need. That one. I got a lot of soundboard samples here. How about this one? Like that one? That's from Dredd.
Yeah.
That's from Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd. I also got, let's see, this one.
Relax. I'd rather not piss this thing off.
That's Steve Downs.
I need a weapon.
I thought it would be sacrilegious to play a Halo sample when we're going to talk about PlayStation 5 Pro, guys. I feel like my camera's very zoomed in right now, but you know what? You're going to get a full dose of this face right here.
Just better to see you with.
So the PlayStation 5 Pro was revealed. Was it this week?
Yes.
Yeah. Why does it feel like it was like a month ago? Is that weird?
It's too long. This week has been like 3 weeks long.
I swear, with like the news and stuff. But I think it was Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. I forget exactly which day, but I do remember.
Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, it was like announced Mark Cerny, aka what's his name? Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey mixed with Ryan Reynolds is what I saw.
It was announced that he was going to do a technical showcase of only 9 minutes. They tried to keep it a secret, and of course, they posted it, and it leaked immediately because they made it an unlisted video. So it was then obviously revealed as the PS5 Pro video. We knew a day before, so I think it was announced Monday and it came out Tuesday. And let's just talk about the video itself. How do you guys feel about that particular technical showcase?
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that Mark Cerny is a very knowledgeable person, knows so much stuff, knows what he's talking about. But like, as I said to someone recently, he's like watching paint dry.
Yes. I would
like everything you're telling me is like, yeah, that's interesting, that's cool, but the way you present it, I feel like that's the feeling I get.
Yeah.
It's like, in terms of like the console, like it looks fine, like it's just still a PS5, but add some extra lines on it.
Wow.
And yeah. But in terms of like what they presented, like all the stuff sounds cool, like because they like to use buzzwords and all that, like it makes it sound really cool. But even in their own examples that they had in the video, I just don't feel like you see enough to be like, yeah, this is like what they're showing me is like, yeah, this is like an obvious jump from what I currently have. So for me, it's like, yeah, everything sounds cool, but I feel like they have to show like, yeah, these are actually going to be meaningful upgrades outside of just it'll possibly run the games better kind of a thing.
Did it blow your guys' minds that like at this point right here, that one of the games that they showed was like fucking Borderlands 3? Isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah, I think
that's not really a technical showcase of a game. I mean, it's like cell shaded. It didn't look bad, but I'm just saying, like, you want it to look great. It's like, why are we seeing a video of this game from like years ago, right?
Well, it's just like also that kind of art style and graphic style. It's like you're not gonna really be able to see outside of clarity like much of a difference, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. And like, I mean, so during this portion, I think they are just showing off like what the PS5 can do. But I mean, wasn't Borderlands 3 a game from last gen? Like, I just don't get it, dude. I don't understand why they're even bringing that game up.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I understand bringing up these games, but like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, same with Spider-Man. This is a cross-gen game too. Like, I don't. They're not exactly showing it what it can do.
Yeah.
In any of this.
I mean, so during this portion, they're talking about the PS5 before they talk about the PS5 Pro, right? They're saying, "Oh, this is what the PS5 can do," which I understand, like showing off some games, but like, I mean, you know, why not show off games in this gen? And I think that is telling about this generation. Like, there's not a lot of games, on like not a lot of like exclusives, right? Which is what PlayStation's known for. So of course they're going to show off stuff like Ghost of Tsushima, which again is a game from last gen. You know, I don't know. It's just kind of strange to me, but I know they want to show like the difference between, you know, what the PS5 can do and what the PS5 Pro can do. I don't know. I just don't know. I just felt like this. You're right. Like Mark Cerny is like watching paint dry. Like he's not a very interesting guy. Like when he talks, I just want to go to sleep.
He's got the ASMR voice.
I guess
you're gonna see him there after he's done with Sony.
Yeah, he's like, and I just want to talk to you all about ray tracing.
Like he sounds like he should be on NPR talking about like taxes.
And really, if you just send me molds of all of your ears, I can make the best headphones for our 3D audio.
Yeah, I mean, he does kind of have like a freaky vibe. You're not right. You're not wrong. Which is really funny.
Sure, he's a wonderful dude. He's just not very. He's not a presenter, right? He's not.
Right.
He's not the guy.
I mean, but he is the guy that they have come out when they want to talk about like specific bullet points of technical shit, right? Like they want to have him come out and say the words teraflops and like processors and, you know, like how many cores are in the processor, right? So I understand that because like, isn't he like the engineering guy? Like he's the main engineer guy. So I understand
he's the architect, basically.
Yeah, he did that for PS4 and PS5.
Right. So, but I'm just like, can't you get a hype man in there? Like, just get like,
yeah, it's getting all them rays traced, you know?
Just get like fucking T-Pain to come out, you know what I mean? And be like, them fucking cores is 8, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Have him auto-tune it. Just give us a little pizzazz. And another thing that I had, like, that was like a downside of this was, okay, so they're talking about like, 60 frame per second performance modes meant like losing fidelity, which makes sense. And then during this portion right here where they're showing side by side, it really does baffle me why they did this particular thing where they take two big screen slices, right, and then make them smaller and zoom them in on a tiny screen so that it's harder to tell the difference. You literally have to zoom in yourself artificially to see the difference. Like, what was the thought process here? Because like, look at this picture. Right now, we're looking at it in 1080p, that's this, you know, screen. That's what you can stream in, basically 1080p anyway. We should be able to tell some kind of difference. Can you guys tell any difference in this tiny little cutout that they put in front of us? Like, honestly.
Like the only thing I could like if I had to like do what's different in the picture, obviously there's like another enemy on the right side that's not there, but then you could attribute that to just like time of day stuff. Like it's just a different something else happened in the game that didn't happen in this playthrough kind of a thing. So it doesn't seem like anything like I could be like, oh yeah.
I mean, the shadows seem a little more accurate. That's about it.
I guess. I mean,
that's about it.
But I guess it's just showing the PS5 version of that. But I'm still like, what I'm still trying to say is why not have the full fucking screen of the YouTube video have two vertical slices so you can actually see the difference? Why is it zooming in like that? Like it really does.
Get Digital Foundry, just partner with them to show off the different things, right?
Yeah,
that's what they should have done.
Yeah,
because they do the big vertical slices of each one running at different frame rates and like this looks pixelated here or this doesn't, right, with this mode on and off. So like they didn't really do a lot to drive that home.
Yeah.
So
And then how do you guys feel about the pusser? You guys like the pusser?
yeah, just a funny name, dude.
Or is
it's just a funny name. I
mean,
immediately thought USSR for some reason. You know, I know. Like,
I saw something on Twitter where someone put the USSR emblem on their PS5. And
Yeah.
like,
back in the PSSR. Yeah.
That's excellent. I mean, a lot of people are saying pisser, which is funny too,
Yeah,
but for some
yeah.
reason I see that and I think pusser.
It's just like
I can't help it.
awful. Like it's not a great. They could have done something different for the acronym.
So, I mean, technically, because I believe they have an AMD chip in there, it is FSR. It's just their version of it. Which is okay. AI upscaling is a future, like DLSS or DLSS 3.0 in my 4070 in this PC. It's hot. It's nice. It works real well. It helps performance incredibly. That's what these consoles need to have to really excel, and I think that should be the main selling point for this device. Like there's no other console that's doing this, and I guarantee that that's going to help this thing perform way better. But what I'm really harping on is just this particular presentation just not being very great, you know, and I think everybody feels the same way. Like they could have made better choices on like making this video, honestly. And like, you know, we're going to get into the price point in just a sec here, but like that's my biggest problem with what happened on Tuesday is just, man, you could have done better. Like Sony, you have fuck tons of money, dude. Like hire someone to make a better video, you know? That's the problem I'm having here, honestly.
well, it's like even the Last of Us 2, it's like it's already a pretty game, and it's like it also goes into the conversation of like are games at a point where graphics and fidelity are pretty much stagnated, like in terms of like what will differentiate them comes down to artistic stuff a lot of the time. But at this point, it's like it's very hard, even when you're adding these extra things, to see how much different it is unless you're really trying to look, kind of a thing. Like if you're just playing this, I don't know that you could really tell if you were playing the PS5 or PS5 Pro version, kind of a thing, and be like, oh wow, one's totally better than the other. It's like when you go to the eye doctor and they say one or two and they both kind of look the same.
Right. I also made that same exact comparison, so I'm glad you said that. But I mean,
like
okay,
one maybe a little bit better, but you're just like it's so negligible.
no, you're absolutely right. I think that the one thing that this is what I was talking about before, like we don't have that zoom in and freeze frame with the tiny window thing. This actually shows a difference. I mean, the difference between a fidelity mode on the PlayStation 5 and just like a normal like graphics mode on the PS5 Pro. Like if you can tell frames, which most of us can, you can see that we're running on like 30 frames per second on the left on fidelity mode on a normal PS5 versus a nice smooth 60 frames on the right for the PS5 Pro.
Right.
Which is great.
Yeah.
That is great. I mean, but also, by the way, that's what my fucking PC can do already with the same game. And all our gaming PCs can do that unless, you have an older rig. But even if you do, and even with the normal PS5, you could still play the game, right? I mean, that's kind of the biggest problem here that people are having, it seems. Like, it's the price point. And this is what I'm talking about, the zoom in shit. Like, what is this, dude? Why is it smaller? Why did you make it smaller so it's even harder to see? I just don't understand this video. Yeah, I'm sorry.
At this point, I think it's just going to come down to like you're only going to really notice like maybe a little bit better bump in clarity and higher frame rates. All this other stuff that they're talking about, I feel like they're going to have to like really do some kind of software technological magic to show like, hey, this is actually like elevating your experience, kind of a thing. Because right now, I feel like the main selling point is like if the performance you're getting out of your PS5 isn't enough for you and you want to make sure you are hitting 60 frames per second in every game, then this is what you want.
I mean, what is the difference between these two? What is the difference? A little bit sharper? a tiny bit sharp. That's $200 worth of sharpness right there.
There's a meme that I have in my background. It's a cell, perfect farm, and perfect cell, right? It's like PS5 and a PS5 Pro.
I wish I could make your window bigger without ruining everything.
It's just funny because, like, yeah, it's absolutely right.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So it just feels so negligible right now with what we know. So
Yeah. Which, like, the way I see it, like, if you've been waiting for the Pro to come out, you still don't have a PS5, and you have the money to burn, buy the fucking thing. Especially if you don't care about disk drive, right?
Yeah.
I am the guy without discs. It's who I am. It's who I've been for a long time. I even stopped buying cartridges for the Switch. You know what I mean? Because it's just easier, dude. I don't know. I just don't really care about discs. But like, it's nice to have a disc drive because we could throw in a 4K Ultra HD Lord of the Rings extended edition into my PS5 and it'll look great, right? And that's great to have. But this thing doesn't have a disc drive. What really gets me is that it doesn't even have the freaking base. You have to buy that for like $30 right? Separately, which is wild. You know, but of course, like as a guy who understands all this computer bullshit and the performance stuff, like, it looks better. I think it is a better device. I understand why it costs $200 more because it's doing the stuff a good PC would do. You know what I mean? But then like everyone keeps saying and like articles have been pushing back on, then why don't you just save up like, you know, to $1,000 and buy a PC? You know, because at that point you can play every damn game, and you could have a PC. You could stream, you could record stuff, you can do anything with a PC. You know what I mean? Versus being stuck to a console. Consoles are good to have, but I'm like, if you really want a PS5, just buy a normal PS5 for $500. That's kind of where I'm sitting. What do you guys think about all this?
Comes back to the price, which I have behind me.
Yeah, right. Let's get to that point in the video.
It's just, you know, it's cost. Everybody's pinching pennies, man. It's like the joke is in this economy, right? It definitely applies right now to stuff like this, where it's not the market for it, man. I don't think it's the market for it. Very niche, and maybe they know that. Maybe they just want to be the top dog still, and this is just them flexing a little bit, right? As we saw with the PS3 days, maybe we're a little bit back to that, which kind of sucks. But, you know, I mean, it is, right? Like, oh, look, you want the premium product, we got a premium product for you. And develop on our machine, we have power, overhead, right? And people are going to show up for it. I don't know. I saw a lot of polls, like, somewhere like maybe under 20% of people are even actually interested in getting something like this. So,
yeah.
And those are like of like hardcore gamer people. So,
yeah.
I just like, I think like it's a hard sell just because like so much of it comes down to the buzzwords that you put on it. Like, it has all these things, but if you don't get that visual feedback of those differences, then you're not really feeling like you got your money's worth, so to say, because that's what video games are. They're a visual experience. And if the machine's supposed to be better, people are going to expect, for better or worse, they're going to expect like, hey, this is supposed to look noticeably better. And when it doesn't, that's not a good thing. And
right.
And it's just also with not including the stand, that's just such a head scratcher. It's just like, it should include the damn stand. If it's the Pro, it should have a damn stand.
That's what I'm saying.
And the disc drive.
It's
Come
plastic.
On,
and then the thing with this drive, like, I know people like you and Jesus like have switched over to digital, but it's like my base PS5 disc costs a lot less and has more functionality than this. And so it's like, it's just like an oxymoron kind of thing. We're going to call it the Pro, but you get less of a Pro experience.
You know, I haven't heard it put that way, honestly. That's very apt. I like that.
Yeah. And
you have less features. You just have an incremental software kind of noticeable difference, right? Like,
well, so like the thing to consider is like I'm like PC gaming is so ingrained in my soul to the point where I don't even think of the disc as a premium thing. I think of the disc as an extra thing. Guess what doesn't have a disc drive? 99% of every PC built today. There's no disk drives. So I
Mine
just
does
think of
not.
like, yeah, I think of what's inside the damn thing and how it
Mhm.
plays the games, right? And that's what I
Yeah.
think about premium. But you're absolutely right, right? Like as a console,
Yeah.
a premium experience should include a fucking controller, a stand, a disk drive, maybe even a little
The
hat.
DualSense Edge,
You know?
maybe even.
Like, give me a
I don't know.
pair of Sony gloves in the goddamn box or something, you know?
throw me a
Package it like
freaking
a
bone here, Cerny.
package it like an
Yeah.
iPhone, you know, make it look nice
Yeah,
in the
because like
package.
because like I think that's a big difference between console and PC gamers.
Yeah.
Like you look for different things. Like
Mhm.
PC gaming's all about that hardware. Like that's what you guys focus on because that's what's you whether you got a pre-built or you built it yourself. That's what you're looking at. In terms of the console, you're just getting it because that's the newest thing. That's what all the games are going to be made for. It's not like they'll use buzzwords to make you think like, oh, like this is like it is amazing. Like it's cool that they're more powerful, but it's like that's not necessarily the biggest deal for a console gamer. And yeah, just the price, like just hearing how in some regions like it's like $1,000 of their dollars to get the console itself, and then if you want to get the disk drive and the stand, then you're looking at well over $1,000. And it's just like I just don't think we're in because like the whole world's dealing with inflation and all that
Yeah.
stuff. People are dealing with having to stretch their dollar and stuff like that. And I just don't like I made a TikTok about this and I like talked about I don't think it's releasing in a market that can feasibly support it in a meaningful way.
Mhm.
Just because of that fact. And I know they do like market research and stuff like that, but like I've said to other people, like I could see this getting a price cut very easily. Will
Yeah.
it happen? I don't know, but like I could see it.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's kind of where I'm at.
It will
But if you want
sell.
it, more power to you.
It will sell at
Literally more
$650
power,
next year.
apparently, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the like, mark my words, in 2025, at some point, it'll be $649.99. Even
that
a
was another
$50
point I
price
forgot.
cut. Yeah.
Like I think if they went and were like it's $600, I think people would have been okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
Yes.
like because I feel like people are like okay I could okay $100 more than what I paid originally for a noticeably better console. I feel like people could swallow that a little bit easier, but $200 more I feel like it's just so much money nowadays that I feel like it's just too hard of a pill to swallow.
Yeah.
May as
Absolutely.
well just save for the PC, like they're saying, right?
That's what I'm
And
saying.
that, I feel like that's a big sentiment for a lot of people. For the people who care about the graphical bump and fidelity that you're going to get with this,
Mhm.
I think it's the same slice of people, right? Who would just save up for a PC and invest in that. So I don't think the market's there.
No. I mean, right now, Series S is looking pretty good, right? I mean, at that price, what, $300? Is that right?
Yeah,
$300. I think it was selling for
gen gaming, right?
I think it was selling for $250 during a sale once, which is like
Yeah,
insane.
yeah.
It's only $50 more than a Nintendo Switch, and you can play like Doom Eternal on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Game Pass. I mean,
it's a
fuck.
capable machine. You know, a lot of devs really like it because it's not nearly as capable as like the X or whatever, but
Mhm.
it can definitely do a lot, like because of what they implemented with like feature parity. But yeah, it does
Yeah.
look a lot better when you look at the options on the other side, right? So
Yeah.
And like another point I thought of is that I feel like it's starting into the space of where consoles lose their main selling point of like you can still play next gen gaming at a much lower cost.
Mhm.
And it's plug and play. Like I feel like they're slowly getting into that realm where people are now going to be like, I could buy the PSX for $800, or I could get a PC that will run everything, and that will last me longer than necessarily this console. And so I think that's something that Microsoft, Sony are going to need to like consider, because I feel like with these ones they're trying to make a profit on each one sold rather than subsidizing the cost like they've done in the past.
Yeah.
And I feel they may need to consider going back to that and relying on the software revenue to make up that cost until the technology and the manufacture it is more affordable.
Yep. I honestly think that Xbox is kind of playing that game already with not even with software sales, just like subscription sales on top of software sales. Like, you know, everybody jokes about them bringing their games to PS5, and I think that's great that they are doing that, but that's just more money in their pocket to, you know, make back the cost of these consoles. And PlayStation and Sony, on the other hand, is like shutting down Concord after 2 weeks, stopping
Wild.
development on like several multiplayer
That's wild.
games that shouldn't have been developed in the first place,
So-
and then coming out with a console that no one can afford, and only the 10% of enthusiasts are on Twitter saying day one, bro, day one. Yeah, I've seen that a bunch. And it's like, hey, I know it's a premium device and you
Sure.
want to get it, and that's cool. I'm not
Mhm.
hating on you. I'm just saying,
No.
like, that,
There's a
I
wider
don't know.
discussion to have outside of like, yeah, nobody's forcing you to buy it, but there is a discussion to have like, is this a fair price? Does it make sense to release in this market? Like, there's a conversation to have there.
They do have Astrobot. PJ Julie in the chat said they do have Astrobot, and that's true.
Mhm.
That
You
could
know
be
what?
game of the
That
year.
is-
I want Astrobot.
That is their win right now.
I
right?
beat
That's their-
Astrobot, and that game is
Ooh.
amazing.
Nice. I'm glad you beat it. Cool.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the platinum yet, but I got all the bots and all the puzzle pieces.
Hell yeah. That's dope.
Fucking great.
Awesome.
I'll play it in a couple years when it comes to PC.
You'll have so much fun.
I think I'll
I'm
have money
sure.
for it in November. That's also my birthday month. Hint, hint, everyone.
Yeah.
However, so PS5 Pro, we'll see how it goes, how many people buy it. I must mention that because the disc drive is sold separately, it's the same one they've been selling already for the PS5 separately. It is now sold out at Amazon and Best Buy and probably everywhere else. And there was a listing earlier today showing it on a scalper website for $400. So enjoy that. I'm sorry to say it. It fucking sucks. Fuck you, scalpers. You bastards.
Don't buy from scalpers. You're positive reinforcing bad behavior.
That's right. Just
Yeah.
remember when they were scalping like the toilet paper and the what was it, the sanitizer shit
Yep,
during
yep,
COVID? I hate people.
No, I saw a news story where like some of them were trying to like sell it after like the production like caught up, and like they couldn't sell it, and I was just like, you deserve it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Take all of the toilet paper
Yep.
that you don't need.
I remember seeing people's like pictures of scalpers' entire garages filled with sanitizer bottles, and they're like, "I can't sell this shit." It's like, yeah, you asshole. Good. Now give me some. Give me
Right.
give me 2 pumps, please. Just give me 2 pumps. I
I'm
need
doing
the
you a favor
sauce.
by taking them. But yeah,
Oh,
that
man.
Concord stuff is like a wild thing. Like, I think
Yeah.
it's like there's a huge lesson in like the industry from that whole situation to be had, like to be learned and to talk about because of how long game development's taking. This was 8 years in development, and 8 years ago, if Concord released, it very well could have been a huge hit.
It
But
really
8
could.
years later, it's an oversaturated market where only a handful of games are now succeeding in that space, and people are devoting most of their time to those spaces, and then also trying to. I get wanting to those profits. Like I see like the logic that they're trying to do of like, ooh, that would be great for our margins, whatever. But I don't feel like there's enough thought going into like how hard it is to make one of these games succeed, especially with the precedent of these other games being so already invested in, people only having so much time. Like Concord.
Look at,
Go ahead.
I mean, look at Destiny, right? Even now, like they're in a tumultuous ground, and keeping that game just the people, hardcore people are playing it now is tough, right? So it's not an easy market to break into games as a service, and I don't. It's just a line of questionable things over the past little bit that kind of we're just barely starting to see dominoes fall on, right? So
Yep.
Yeah, and Destiny is a wild one because there's been so like I feel like from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, there was just stories about weird decisions Bungie would make that would just make the play experience worse or what. And like I'm surprised that game still like has kept going. Like
it's at
like
its lowest
everything-
now, right? But
like everything that happened should have bet it was like done, but like it kept going. But yeah, I just think that like Concord should be like a good lesson to publishers, Sony, that banking on a like I know they're going to chase trends no matter what in some form, but changing your whole focus to this games as a service model when you've made your community kind of adjusted to your single player game kind of discography, for lack of a better word, and that's the output that they look forward from you. Like that's what they come to you for. Switching all your gears to this other very different market is, I feel like, not a great decision, because your audience isn't there for it, because they come to you for a very different experience. And I think it's good if you want to expand your repertoire, but I think trying to do, what was it, 12 games originally was their plan. Putting all that focus, I feel like, is too much. Like, I think they should have maybe started with like a Concord or like just Helldivers and see how that went. Then maybe be like, okay, now we can make the next one, kind of a thing, rather than like, we're committing to 12 of these games. And it's like, you have no guarantee this is going to work out, and it's already a high competition genre in space that you have no idea. If it doesn't work out, then you're just wasting all this time and effort and money, and then studios get closed down, people lose their jobs, and it's mismanagement from upper management at the end of the day.
It's a bad bet, straight up. You're like gambling with people's lives at that point, and that's what sucks. That's what's horrible about it. But like, hey, if Concord was free to play, if it comes back out and it's free to play, I'll play it. I mean, I had fun enough with it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. But then again, like, I didn't buy my PS5 to play Overwatch on it. Like, I got it because it has exclusives, and this is before they were really bringing all their games to PC over time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know, but I have one, and Final Fantasy 16 was cool. That wasn't a Sony game, by the way. Didn't play Spider-Man 2. I enjoyed what's that? God of War Ragnarok, but I only got like 6 hours in, maybe. I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I'm just not like the PlayStation guy. I mean, I wasn't all in on PlayStation 1 and 2 back in the day. But I fell off during the PS3 era for sure. But I'm still catching up on PlayStation games, and that's why it's great for me to have a PS5. I don't need a Pro. I can play the regular PS5 just fine. I can play my backlog of old PS4 games that I still got to catch up on, all that stuff. Yeah, that's great for me. But like, as for new PlayStation games, I'm not interested in like buying Concord or like, you know, any other multiplayer shooter. Like, I have Game Pass; those are on there. I got free to play ones that come out, like what is it? What's the Portal one? Splitgate 2's coming out. You know, I got Deadlock beta access. You know, I got plenty of that shit to do. Like, give us give us the goods, Sony. You know what I mean? Don't make these bets. Like, let the people make the games they want. You know, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, me too. Just stop chasing these trends.
Be the trendsetter, not chasing.
Yeah.
7 years after the trend started is not gonna work, dog. Like, set your own damn trends. You want to make an interesting multiplayer game? Like, do something new, interesting.
Like Helldivers 2, like, I know, like, in terms of the updates and stuff like that, things got weird, but like they had like a hit on their hands, and people were all about, are you spreading democracy tonight? Like, that was like the whole like shtick thing, and like that was like new, exciting. People enjoyed that. Like, that was a good first attempt, kind of thing. But that shouldn't have been like, okay, so we started trying to make these other 11. It's like, you should have been your first, and then you talked about it later. Like, should we make another kind of?
Right. Then you should have had like Astrobot again. Great game. You know, let's keep doing interesting stuff like that. That could be a game of the year. Think about it. It's a PlayStation. Think about it, man. Make better decisions. You know,
make more Astrobots.
don't sell a fucking base for $30, $20 on the side. What the hell is wrong with you, man? That thing is made out of plastic, dude. It costs you nothing. I'm sure someone could like 3D print that shit themselves at home.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know someone with a 3D printer. I should ask them.
You should ask them. Yeah, like, is there whatever, like a file that is the?
I'm sure there is.
The printing for a fucking base. Ridiculous. Great stuff. Hey, I think Sony will be fine in the end. It's just the people's jobs that are lost along the way that sucks. You know, we were just talking about Annapurna. You know, Xbox just fired 650 people. Like it's a bad climate out there. So like, you know, we just need these companies to make better decisions, you know, invest their money properly so that these people can keep their jobs and we can keep like having fun and not having these weird discussions all the time, you know?
Mhm.
Let's have fun discussions next time.
Yeah.
You know? Fuck. Anything else, guys? You got anything else? Anything you're excited
to
about?
play Final Fantasy 16 on PC.
Yeah.
And God of War Ragnarok 2 days later on PC.
Attaboy.
I love 16. So good.
16's good.
I got to meet the voice actor for Clive. Such a cool,
Oh
he's such
my
a cool
god,
guy.
Ben Starr, so
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to Game Awards last year. Got to go to him, and I just because he didn't win Best Actor, but I was just like, I'm be such a fan right now. I was just like, even though you didn't win, you are the best voice actor for me this year. Like your performance was amazing.
Joshua.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. He's awesome, and it's cool that he's like such a good like he's into games, and it's like he
Hell
really
yeah.
like does care about them.
It's all that matters. It's all that matters. I'm sure whatever next game we hear about next year coming from PlayStation, we'll all be stoked for. So look forward to that.
Mm.
Look forward to the future. If you're, hey, let us know in the comments below. Are you buying a PS5 Pro? If you do, will you tell if it's good or not? Like when you get your hands on it, is it cool? Let us know. Even if
We
it's in
need
the
to know.
future. If this is if this is you in the future and you're like, I'm playing it now, bitch. It's amazing. You talked all this shit. Fuck you. You know, tell me that. Comments below. Thank you so much. I want to thank Verumdex for being here. We did a couple back-to-back videos. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us talking video games.
I did. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Steven.
man.
Steven, you're looking
Yeah.
great. You sounded great, as always,
See you,
buddy.
dude.
You know what I'm saying? We did some work this week. We're back. Summer vacation's over. Expect more
Yeah, dude.
content
Time to get it.
across all our channels. Don't forget Neon Pocket Dimension. You can see that. Twitch.tv/Neon Pocket Dimension. You want to watch our shit live Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. You want to watch our videos at Neon Pocket Dimension on YouTube because you're already on this channel, Neon Game Dimension. Don't forget Odd Valley Studios. We have a video coming next week. We're gonna do Odd Valley Tavern. We're still
What's
trying to
that?
figure out
what's that show? Odd Valley Tavern.
Oh, we get drunk, and you get drunk with us.
Yeah.
I think I
dude.
want to make us play drinking games that time because we're not gonna really have an Oktoberfest episode the week after or the month after. So we'll see about that. But yeah, check us out, man. Google us and just say hi. We're gonna get out of here. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Like, oh, here, wait. Let's see if I have a sound for this.
Never give up, never surrender.